All right.
No, we should do it. We should have like 5 different shirts.
I know.
You know what? You know when we know we've arrived is when people start watching the videos close enough that they go, "Oh, dudes, you're wearing the same outfit."
Hey, this is a new one. All right. Ted, how you doing today, Ted? How's it going, my man? How's it going? All right. So here's my question for you today. Amazon is doing something very, very interesting. They're actually causing their customers to return 6 times a month. 6 times a month. Whereas you compare to Walmart, which is 2.5 times, and Target, which is 2 times a month. Okay.
Are we talking Target and Walmart online, or are we talking
online? We're talking online.
Okay.
And so the thing is obviously Amazon knows something that these other brands don't. And so the question is, what does Amazon know that other brands need to know? Bada boom, bada beam, yo Ted.
Amazon's looking us in the eye digitally, and they've been doing it now for so many years that they don't just watch us. They watch us after we leave the store. They pay attention to our return procedures. They pay attention to the complaints we do. They do everything. They have been a digital company from day one. Everyone complains or likes to. I love when someone who really doesn't get it says, well, big deal, Amazon isn't profitable. Bullshit. Amazon could have been profitable 15 years ago. They pour every dime back into the future. They're not unprofitable. They're making margins. They're just taking that money and investing, because Jeff Bezos has the brilliance, the forethought, and owns enough of the stock to do whatever the hell he wants. And that's also why I think, when Jobs came back, he had that ability. I see that in Zuckerberg at Facebook, that after he got over the initial fear and lack of understanding of being a public company, he now does what he wants, because we're talking about people that have vision, of Bill Gates, that just did what they wanted to do and don't care about their boards or don't care about investors or where the stock goes. So what I love about Amazon is, to them, I really believe this, that yes, they are very detailed on everything they do mechanically, but they are customer focused.
They are
about customer experience. I mean, they are.
But it's also interesting though, that there's a digital parallel that I think that many, especially big corps, miss. It was the old, before the internet, when there was just brick and mortar, what was the thing that everybody knew if they had retail? It was what? Location, location, location. What did that really translate to? If you really break it down, what it translates to is this: be where the customers are. And what Amazon knows very well is to be where the customers are. And so it's not an addition to an appendage to an existing business. It's a business built around where customers are and are going to be.
No, absolutely. I was with I was at a Brand Innovators event yesterday, and we had a panel with guys from MasterCard, from Sabra, Hummus, and from a few other brands, and Citibank. And they were talking a little bit different. They were talking about, like, where do you advertise? What platforms are you on? What are you doing? And their whole point was, be where your customers are. Like, if people say, you have to be on Instagram. Well, if your customers aren't there, then there's no reason for you to be there. Perhaps if you see your customers going there in the future, if you know something about it, if you know their age group or where they're going. But in essence, it comes back down to this: be where your customers are and know your customers. And I think Amazon just does a remarkable job of knowing their customers. They serve me up offers that are relevant. I don't think I've ever said, screw you, Amazon, what the f*** are you sending me? Like, why are you wasting my time with this? I can't remember ever doing that. Now, part of it might be that I'm so fond of them that if they do it, I don't even think about it. But that also has to do with the relationship. That has to do with return on relationship. They've given me so much value over time that even when they do take a misstep, I don't even think about it.
Yeah.
And then their returns are incredibly easy. There's none of these. It depends what you pay for it and what you do. I just got an ad, and just to go back to, ads do work if they're done right. And a media company, I think, does a great job. I think Facebook does a remarkable job of using their data to serve proper ads. When I write that I'm going hiking in 2 weeks, I get things related to hiking. When I make comments about things that are relevant, and they just serve me up with a pair of walking shorts. And I was complaining about something with my travels and things, But when I went to buy it, unfortunately, what did I do, by the way? First thing was I went to see if I could buy them on Amazon, which is the first thing I always do, because I much prefer to buy them there.
Because of the one click. You could be in and out of there and go, right?
Well, it's because of many things. Because of the one click, it's because I know I can return it. It's because I know I get Prime, and I get it in 2 days. I mean, there's just so many. They've given me so many reasons to want to continue that relationship. But just to take it to the next level and to compare it to Amazon, well, Amazon didn't have it, and I wanted it. They hit a spot. They got me. The shorts were not cheap, and I'm relatively cheap when it comes to that kind of stuff. So the shorts were much more than I would normally spend. They were $79. But when I read about
mackerel, that's over $30 a leg, man.
Way too much for my skinny legs. But the point is, they did a great job of describing it, of showing the product. It was something that looked like I would like it. I like the reviews. I go to buy it. Now, it turns out I got to spend $95 to get free shipping and to get free shipping back if they don't fit, if I don't like them. And I got to tell you, it took me a while. I finally just did it because I'm so busy and I'm leaving for Dublin today, and I don't have time to deal with this crap. And I bought them. But I got to tell you, if they get here and I don't like them, I'm going to be real. I will never buy from that company again.
Yeah.
When I have to now go through the effort. I mean, Amazon, it's not even just the money. It's that you print it right there, that you click a button and they send someone to your house to pick it up. You don't even have to put a label on it. You leave it outside your door with like a piece of paper and you're done.
Yeah.
And by the way, if I had to pay for that, I'd pay for it. Because even if they said, well, because of this, it's $5, whatever. Great. But now all that other effort, these guys, I'm going to have to pack it. I'm going to have to go to the post office. I'm going to have to send it back. And I got to tell you, I'm not expecting to buy a lot more from these guys just because of the process.
Well, no, it was a lousy user experience, and it deflated the excitement. It's one of those things that I'm always educating clients on. You can't have operations dictate how the brand should perform. The brand needs to set what's the standard that we need to perform so that that user experience is not only met but exceeded, and then make that happen.
Look, I've been on this e-commerce. I've been on this e-commerce side of things. Say to me, it's your first trip here. We're going to give you free shipping. Do something for me.
Absolutely. This has to be that first incentive. There has to be the first incentive.
You're acquiring a customer, but it's not. See, in their eyes, they're just saying, "Ha, we got it."
No, I know.
You bought them in.
It's not that's a transaction mentality. They've got to actually move it into cost of acquisition and realize this is the beginning of a relationship. And what's the aftertaste you want to leave there for that person?
But what they did was they got me to buy. But I'm not anxious. Now, I got to tell you, just to give you an opposite story, I went to buy printer ink. And I went to Amazon, which is where I almost always go. And unfortunately, I needed it right away. I needed to print something up. I was out of ink. Amazon, I couldn't get it for whatever, 2 days. And I was about to order. I said, let me just go check out Staples. And there's one relatively near me. And they had this amazing experience where I could buy it online. I could pick it up in the store. They made it incredibly easy for me to sign up. I was able to use I signed up to one of my social profiles, so I didn't have to go through all the nonsense.
Yep.
They made it easy for me. They made it incredibly easy. They followed up while I got to the store. I didn't have to wait online with all the people. I gave it to this woman in customer service. They came out, they handed me my product, and they gave me a discount because I did it that way. So I bought it for cheaper than Amazon, which I rarely can do.
Yeah.
But now, next time I order ink or something like that, I will probably, and they sent me a thing saying, do you want to, and they made me the right offer. Do you want to be a one-time customer, or do you want us to save this information and give us a password and you'll have access?
But the one place I think that Staples blew it was when you went in for your ink, they say, oh, what's your waist? So we can actually, because we have a sale on shorts. See, that would have been the ultimate experience. Right?
You know why? Except being that it might have been a little creepy.
Well, especially since they don't have fitting rooms.
I would accept that from Amazon since I buy everything from them. But, walking into a supply store for your business and they start talking about my pants. Oh, if she was very attractive, you never know. It's all about the packaging.
It is so much about the packaging. Very good. So I think we've really nailed the fact that Amazon, they're building it around the user. They are where the customer is. And and they don't let technology or operations get in the way of the experience that you and I are going to have as customers.
And imagine that they do this without ever talking to you.
Right. I know that's like, that's.
I find that remarkable. In
Yeah.
other words, this can be done. You could, like, look, when I talk about looking people in the eye digitally, I'm talking about connecting with them in a digital platform the same way that we would like this. And I think Amazon does that for me.
I think that we've solved, actually, I don't think we've solved anything. I think we've just isolated for our legion of listeners how they could basically take the successful strategies and tactics that Amazon is using and apply it to their own business. So
it's hard to understand, but make it about the customer, not about you. It goes back to making it about them.
totally right.
Them.
Totally right. Well, Ted, I couldn't have done this without you.
Buddy, I got to tell you, I think about you all the time. You're close to my heart.
That's beautiful. All right, man. I'll catch you real soon.
Peace out, baby.
I'll catch the Taco Bell down around the corner. Make sure to be wearing your shorts. All right.
Just saying.
All right.
Just saying.
Good.
Please hang up and try again.